welcome back to my channel. It is only your favorite eccentric SLO-mad, and today I didn't bring my mic. This is impromptu. I was just walking. I was like, oh, go live, which I always do, y'all. So here I am. I'm at the BTS. I basically came from that side over there, and plan to go to the park, but I think I'm going to go over to Sphere first and grab a coffee. So a lot of you guys ask me, but Ali, what is it like? What is it like there? What do you do there? I don't know. How are the people? What's the culture? Is it safe? Is it friendly? So I figure I'll let you decide what you think just by taking a walk with me. So this is one of the parks. It's actually one of my favorite parks. Nestled in between all this buildings and structure and design and upscale malls and all that. And you have this wonderful, pleasant oasis. And there's quite a few. In every single park, there is some form of body of water, i.e. lake. So there's a BTS line there, SkyTrain, which I normally take. You guys see my videos. We're going to go in the building that has the IKEA to grab a coffee and a water, or at least a water, because I have not had my water today. I promise this is so impromptu. But I wanted to kind of just stress one of the things that I think a lot of people misconstrue, or I want you to consider it. Consider a couple different things when you're wondering about moving abroad, traveling abroad. The world is small, but so big. And so people are people everywhere. But I think what you're asking is tolerance. What are the tolerance levels, and what is the internal feeling level like? Is there spite? You know, not to talk about the country that we live in, because as people find out, there's obviously lots of spite. But I will tell you, 9 times out of 10, here, I'll flip it. We're finishing up this kiddie playground over here. But this is the walking track, warning track. We're going to go into Sphere. But yeah, the misconception is that that everything is the same, or not the same. I'm sorry, that everything is different. Oh my God! So people at the door. I'm trying to get out. They coming in. Let's see if I can squeeze by. There's always something going on, and I never know. It's a cool. I don't know what they have, but we're gonna go out to the other side. There is something, because there's a line all the way. Oh, no idea. We are gonna go inside on this side and grab a coffee. Let you guys see a little bit. I come here a lot and do my work. Find a spot. There's all these quaint coffee shops, excellent grocery, upscale restaurants, all of this stuff, which I might get a juice. I need to get some food. Actually, I'll probably get some fruit from here. speaking of which, let's see if they have them. Yeah, that's the only thing you have is you do have to kind of be quite mobile because it will seem as if people don't see you. And depending on where you're from, okay, so they don't have the big package the other day, so I like to get the big thingies of whatever. So I'm just gonna grab a couple bananas for less than $1, and water or juice. But this is life. I'm in Thailand, y'all. These are what their grocery stores a lot look like, either scaled up or scaled down. This is why you hear a lot of people say other food there. You hear a lot of people say, I don't grocery shop, I don't cook at home. Because you can come and get a full meal for under the price of what it costs to buy all the things that you would need to make your food at home. I always check the cheese. Cheese is a thing that's going to be expensive. What kind of grocery store mart is it? It's a regular grocery store. It's very similar to a Western style grocery store. It's called Gourmet Market. And you'll typically find these in the bigger malls. I'm actually looking for like a protein water. That would be ideal. Something protein. Or maybe just some pH. I'll take some pH water. Let's just grab a pH. Yeah, so Chad, this is just a regular kind of shopping mart, grocery store, just like what you see in the States or in the UK. I'm looking for something in particular. When I see it, I'll know. They have all your goodies, but this gives you an idea because a lot of people think, oh, well, everything is a street market. I don't want a street market. Well, you don't have to. So, for example, I'm going to show you. You're also like, do they have our brands? So that's like the Redia pasta, but they have all of that. I'll show you over here. Since I'm in the store, I'm not really doing a grocery check, but why not? Everybody wants to know about seasons. Am I gonna have flavor? And the answer is absolutely. What kind of oils do they have? And this is a smaller one. The bigger gourmet markets are Inside's Emporium and M Quarter and Terminal 21. I think they have one. But like here. And it's about the same price as the US. This is buy two, but $169 is basically $5 for a box of cereal. So is it really saving? Not really. And but it's comparable, right? They got all their peanut butters, frozen goods, and I mean then they also have things that we never would see, but like regular things like toilet paper, and yes, they have Scott's. They have, I don't know if they have Sherman. I think some stores may have, but then yes, they have Scott. They have their brands. It's the same stuff, just with a different name on it. So worry not. Fret not, my friends. You want rice, you want your grains, they got all of that. They got the quinoa and stuff. The stuff that ends up being a higher price point is stuff like that is really Western, like eating cheese. We don't find cheese on Thai dishes. So cheese is usually expensive. All the chips and stuff are not. You can find all your chips and your snacks and different things like that really, really easy. They got harvest snaps. I know y'all know what harvest snaps are. People are like, but what about my Doritos? They got that. They got Cheetos. Not those. Those are called Chachos. But see, Cheetos. Just they're the name in Thai, right? Candy. They got Haribo. They got Pringles. So this must be more the Western aisle. So there's your Lay's chips there. People want to know, can I get the same thing? You absolutely can, if you want. Well, some things you want the same. Some things, you want to try something different. So I'm just going to get my water and my banana. No. All right, you guys hold on. I'm getting it. Oh, 41. 200? Oh, just 41. Okay. I have a one. Ah, there. Okay. All right, you guys, I'm paying for my stuff. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. I had to put the phone down. I gave her 200. I thought she said 241, which would have really been a lot for water and banana. It's 41, so it's basically I paid 2 bananas and a water, $1.10 basically. So I'm going to show you a little bit more. You guys, anybody who's into Krispy Kreme, boom, there's a whole booth. But this is where I was at the gourmet market, and this again is a smaller version of a gourmet market. The other ones are huge, but with everything that you see there, plus some. But this area, you can come and you don't have to order any food from the restaurants. I can have my banana and my water and sit, which actually I guess I should. Then that way I won't have the wind shear from being outside. But everything that you could possibly want, they have it. And I can actually get a coffee and sit here. But you guys know, like Asia, it's really known for, their grandeur in malls, right? And so there's so many cool aspects to here, and a lot of these have upstairs. There's a place that I go. This one is really good coffee. But again, a lot of times the coffee isn't necessarily cheap. If it's 100 baht, that's $3. So anything over that, it's really comparable to what you see in the West. This is a new. Look at that. They got fresh cut fruit. And then this one, like right now, they're doing a mini market. Buy your chips. It's a mini market inside. And this area, you guys, they switch up like every week. It's something different. So this won't be here probably after this weekend or even for the weekend. It won't even be here. But like, yeah, any of these seats and stuff. So I'm actually going to sit right here. And Thank you. Actually, I'll go get a coffee first. Since you guys are with me, why not? The summer is food because some people eat like real food early. You'll see that a lot in Asian culture. So it's kind of busy. There's a lot of people come here because it's really just like a pickup place. I am not a big I'm gonna wait person because there's so many options unless it's something like very specific. Look at that. In this mall, this is literally the only I think there's only two vegan or vegetarian actual restaurants. So that was just my little walk around, let you guys see the world. I don't have my tripod or anything with me this morning. Like I said, I was literally going to grocery shop and go walk first and then grocery shop, and I was like, oh, it's such a nice day. So a lot of times it's so hot by this hour. Like it's so hot. So I got 2 bananas for under $1. And you might say, you're 20 cents in the States, Ali. And that's when, the pricing thing starts to matter because it looks like you're spending 20 cents because it says 21. That's our mental, like, typically that's how we convert in a lot of places, which is how we get it wrong. And we overspend, right? Because in essence, it's like 80 cents. Because $1 here is about 31 baht. I think we've gone up just a little bit. So the baht has decreased while our dollar has increased in value. Right? So I'm gonna eat a banana. I don't really eat this early, but I know I'm gonna walk. And my energy levels are so low right now. And I apologize for all the moving. This is the most, I probably won't leave this video up, but I'll take snippets from it. But you guys, if you're wondering about costs, because that comes up a lot, because obviously you want to know either how far your money is going to take you, or if you need to make more money, or if you need to save more money, or how it's going to work. And I have a couple videos that I created on my YouTube here, so please subscribe, like, and share. And check out the video I did on Vietnam and on Thailand, and it's can you live here and how to live here, what your expenses need to kind of average at to live $4,000 a month. Now, the average Thai would be in heaven with $1,000 a month. And average, I just mean like an average person, like in the U.S., we have people who, are average, I don't know, I call them, our middle class, technically, because that's our real middle class now. Our everyday workers, survivors, people working every day, shopping every day, raising their kids, people who work, these people who work at the shops and stuff like that. They're the everyday person. The people who can come into a mall like this and order 260 baht dessert and coffee, and then have lunch for 1,000 baht, which is 30 bucks. It's not that high, but people who could do that every day or a few times a day, they're coming here because it's close to work, that's above average. So they're spending closer to what we spend in the States, right? And these malls are packed. I mean, like, it just opened at 10, and there's people here. Everybody is set up. This is an upscale mall, so everything is really more, it's a lot more pristine. Ooh. All right, hold on, y'all. There's this cool thing that just popped up. Let you answer a question. I know it's over my face, but can you guys see that? That little pop-up? That's kind of neat. I don't know if it stays there the whole time or what to do with it, but it's there. So answer the question if you are a person who is addicted to travel, because there's so many different levels of addiction. And I have an addiction to travel. Totally. Let's see if I can move it. Drag here to end Q&A. All right, I'm going to drag and move it because it's like right in my face. But yeah, you guys, yeah, so check out my YouTube if you're interested in, you're saying to yourself, okay, yeah, you guys do that, but, you had a special case, situation, whatever, or you're there for work, or you've got retirement. I don't have retirement. I don't have a pension. I basically was able to do it from savings and investments over time. And I can speak so 100% about what I'm saying, because in the 5 years that I've been gone from the U.S., living abroad in different places, the mistakes I have made, listen, I have a wealth of information that I can share with you so that you do not make the same mistakes. We do not have to go through this together, like in the bad way. People's previous experience should be the gateway for us avoiding some of those experiences. So a lot of the mistakes that I made was, one, I did not have my businesses, which I have basically 3 lines of business. I did not have those scaled to support not having an income. And the reason that was important for me was because when I left the States, I didn't officially leave. I went on vacation and didn't come back. Once I realized how easy, in terms of just sitting in different places, how easy it is and how similar it is to the States, I just said, oh, I could do this. It's not a big deal. I've always wanted to do it, so the goal was just not to come back to the States. But with that, I still had a house. I still have a car. My car was paid off, but I still had a house. I sold another house previously, was my goal before any of this COVID stuff happened. It was my goal. I was going to go and teach conversational English in Spain for a short stint, take a vacation, and basically go and do that. But I had in my mind decided, well, I don't think I'm going to want to come back. Like, I want to take a sabbatical. Could I have applied for a sabbatical and tried? Possibly. But I really wanted the freedom to get away for a while. And you guys, I was in IT for 27 years, if that helps. But my biggest mistake was, and it's not like, I mean, it's something I learned from, and pick up where I left off, and you kind of balance things. It's Mistakes that I've made that, I'm learning from aren't debilitating me. Like, I haven't gotten to a point where, I'm like freaking out. Solo miniature freakouts. But in terms of, okay, can I scale my business? Can I get it going? And why has it taken 5 years? You guys are probably asking. Because unfortunately, it took me so long to get past the being burned out. And being so burned out that I didn't want to do anything that even closely resembled corporate work at all. I've worked since I was 12 years old. So I've already put my 38 years in the corporate structure. So that was just not something that I wanted, right? And so I'm saying this to you guys because, a lot of people are asking, well, how am I going to survive somewhere else? What can I do? And what I strongly encourage you to do is, like, you watch these videos, you guys, I don't know what everybody's situation is, but if you've never traveled anywhere, start traveling in the States, even if it's by car. And if you're like, well, I don't have the gas money to go by car. Okay, well, then you're a little bit further away from just getting up and moving. If you say my income, I can't leave my job, I run my own business, and if I'm not there, I don't make money. Okay, so that's right there. That's your starting point. That's where you look and you say, okay, well, how can I scale my business so that I make money regardless if I'm here or not? And that was a big thing for me. So many people wanted me to do brick and mortars. So many people, for my yoga and for my product line, my beauty and bath product line. And I knew deep down inside me, I had no desire to go to, I had stopped, I quit my job in 2020. But even before that, like when I was teaching yoga, I prefer to be mobile, go to other people's shops. Everybody already has a brick and mortar. Everybody already has all these spaces. Why do I need to bury myself and pigeonhole myself? This is me talking to myself into something that I know I don't want to do, right? I know I don't, like in a week or 2 weeks, I'm gonna be over it. So I knew that wasn't my path, right? And so I'm literally just walking through, like people ask all the time, what do I do? How do I get to the next phase? How do I start saving money? How do I scale? What kind of work can I do? When I travel abroad, and depending on where you're going, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be able to walk. Like, you can't walk in here and go and apply. I don't even care if it's an American business, if it's Krispy Kreme's, if it's Kroger. You can't just walk up and apply. You have to have a work visa. And they are, for the most part, unless you're doing something underground, they're very strict with their immigration and visa laws, which is the direction that the U.S. is going, which is why I don't necessarily fret so much about what they're trying to do. My issue, and I'm sidetracking, what the U.S. is doing is the way they're doing it this term. It has been done. Immigration processes have been happening with every president, but it has never been like this. And there's a way to handle it. But just so you know, every country does this. Every country has these policies and these rules in place so people don't violate, and also for the purpose of not taking away work and jobs that the everyday local person has. Ours is split. We allow people from other countries to come in and take the jobs that we don't want. But when you come to places like Thailand, you go to Japan, you go to Korea, what you'll see is they want us to enter the country and bring our professional expertise at the corporate level, right? Or our natural expertise in speaking. So there are ways and things to do to maneuver around that. And I have a video for that as well. Check it out. It is about, the top 4 jobs that you can get pretty much anywhere in the world. Get started, basically. But I say that to kind of just set the stage and clarify some points, because I think a lot of times it's missed that everywhere in the world has immigration policies. Everywhere. Which is why we have to look to see, do we need a visa? Are we visa exempt? What's the term of our stay? And if you overstay, what's the penalty? Do people overstay in different countries? Absolutely. But a lot of times they overstay because they're never ever planning on leaving. But for me, that's no different than the prison of being in the States and not being able to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to go somewhere else and it's a foreign country and my money is somewhere else unless I completely, liquidated everything and moved it with me. I don't want to be subjected to I can't cross a border. And and the reason why it's such a difficult thing is because once you do that and you get to a place and you stayed and you don't have the finances, whatever the fees and penalties are, to leave the country, you are a prisoner to the country. You can't get bank accounts if you haven't already gotten one. Here it's very easy to rent, whether you stay in a high rise or you find someone local who rents to you, a house or something. It's really easy to do that here. In the States, the equivalent would be staying at a hotel, like an extended stay. They don't ask you for your employment, because they can just kick you out. So that's the equivalency. But what you don't want to do is be in a place like this. So, example, I was in Vietnam a few years ago and I met this girl who was there and she was trying to leave, but she had extended her stay and they took her passport. I guess when she was at the airport trying to leave, she had the money to pay or whatever, but they didn't. They just took her passport. She didn't get her passport back, so she was basically leaving to go and earn more money back in the UK or wherever. And she's running through the money that she needed to pay in order to leave, but they wouldn't give her passport back so that she could leave, right? I don't know the entire story, but I know she was literally there. She was there because she overstayed. Guys, most of these places have a process for extensions. And if they don't have a process, or the process, the time is too short, the amount of time, like if you go to Belize, it's really only 30 days that you get in Belize. But you can do extensions every single month, right? You pay a little bit of a fee, I think it's $30 or something like that, and you extend, but you have to go to immigration. Here, you come for 2 months on a touristy visa, but you're not supposed to work. And you can extend for another 30 days, so you get 90 days, but you have to go to immigration to do that. Or you come here, or you stay at home and you look at the immigration policy on every country's official embassy site and see what the process is to enter and stay in their country long term. If you're a person like, I don't want to bounce around, I want to be somewhere for 6 months minimum. Well, there's a number of countries, like a nice handful of places that you can go with the U.S. passport and stay for 6 months. Some of which will even allow you a digital nomad kind of label, so you can work. But you guys, you got to know this stuff. Like, no different than, what's the reality of the cost of living in different places? Well, while it seems like it's super cheap, is it really super cheap? Or is it just the average of what we would be doing at home, minus being at home and with some discipline, right? Because at home you had your kitchen, a lot of the people here who eat out every day weren't eating out every day back in the States. So in that respect, it's somewhat cheaper. But then also, depending on where you lived in the States, everything was supersized. So a lot of people complain about the size. Oh, you're going to be hungry right after. Oh, you get a stick of meat for 20 baht. That's not cheap. It's basically 80 cents for like a skewer of meat. And I go, well, where are you going to go in a restaurant in the U.S. and get a skewer of meat for 80 cents? Nowhere, except, a carnival. And you won't even get it at a carnival in the U.S. Everything is $20 or above. So in that respect, it is cheaper. But if you're not disciplined, you can come and you can spend $1,000 a month on food, on eating out. And that's just basic eating a $10 meal a day. That's basic a $10 meal a $10 meal 3 times a day. So if you come and you spend 300 baht because you want the upscale and you need your coffee and you don't want to make coffee at home, or you got a $400 or $500 apartment
It doesn't have a cooktop and you don't want to buy one. It's a compromise. Somewhere you're compromising, right? If you want to stay in that low range, you're compromising somewhere. If you're already living like that at home, you may not be compromising. You may be stepping up. You may be getting more. But everything requires balance. Everything requires you to at least be disciplined and do some planning. If you don't want to plan, then have a pot of money. Have a way to continue to bring in income. One of the income producers, it's not a job, but maybe I should do a video on revenue generating activities, things that you can do. And one is the stock market. And I know people talk down about the stock market, and those are people who don't understand it. Because there are people who literally live, if you make $100 a day, if you clear $100 a day in stocks, so you put your stock in something, you buy or sell, and you make 100, you close it out. $100 a day is $2,500 because stock has changed 5 days a week. You could even make it if you're doing the aftermarket stocks and things like that on weekends. But let's just say $100 a day, and so 4 weeks, 20, 24, so anywhere from 2,000 to 2,500 just on stocks. But that's not saying you're going to make that all the time or that you won't lose, right? It's a give and a take, just like anything. But that's something that you could start investing time to learn now. Other passive income is really something that you start and you never have to touch it again. So you create a travel course and you create the marketing for it, and you just let it spin and do its own thing, and it generates, you sell your course for $47 to $97, and 2 people or 1 person buys a day. That's either your 47 times 5 or times 7 a week, or so that 250 or 500, something like that, in that range, depending on how many days, right? I'm counting only 5 days. But if it's running nonstop and is behind the scene, that's what passive income is. It's something that you don't have to go in and actually do any work to generate any income. Semi-passive is when you got something and you do have to tweak it every now and again. You got to go in and maybe set up what you're going to do for that day, and then kind of let it run and do its own thing. Once you set it up, you do your research. You still have to do some research and homework and planning, and maybe that takes you an hour or 2 a day, and then the rest of your day is free. So there's different ways to look at it, and different ways to consider or think about generating money. And I hope you guys can hear me, because I know they got the music playing in here today, because I'm spitting gems. But you have to start doing something. If you are not self-made, if you don't already have the chunk of money and you already know how you're going to come over, revenue opportunities are endless in a number of these places. You would just basically come over as a tourist, look around, see if it's a place that you can culturally see yourself sitting in. If you've got children, where would I put them in school? The international schools are usually more expensive, just FYI, it's like a private school, but it's still going to be cheaper 9 times out of 10 than what you pay in the States, right? And you're going to take a look around. You're going to investigate to see if this is the flow, is this the energy, what's the mobility like? I can jump on a train, I can jump on a bus, I can jump on a plane for under $50 and get from one end of the country all the way to the other. Hell, in a lot of cases, I can get from this country to a whole other country for $50 with, limited bags. Let's say I have a carry-on and a bag of clothes. If I'm just going and scouting and checking things out, and I'm not carrying, 5 suitcases, right? So you would come and you would scout things out, check out the area, and then look at, if you're an entrepreneur and you have that business mindset, you're going to look and say, what's the need? What do people need? What do we need? And I've uncovered a number of things that could be business opportunities, things that you could set up that maybe not the local culture necessarily benefits from, but it definitely well, I think it would be local. It would just be people who live here, who move here with kids and stuff, and with dogs, and I have a couple of different ideas. But it's really looking at that and going from place to place and going, do they have that here? No one's thought of that. No one's thought of that. That becomes a business opportunity. Then you go and you go on the embassy site, you reach out to some people, go on social media. Y'all, we on social media all day. I'm on social media right now. And start asking the questions. Ask, hey, what are my next steps? I want to start a business, but I want to do it the right way. So you're going to need a business-based visa. You're, doing business as an entrepreneur. And then when you get through those processes, I'm not saying that they're easy or hard, because it depends on where you are, those things start to unlock other doors for you. Banking and access and ability to buy units. Some places you can buy condos and stuff, and then that gives you access to residency. Some places are the opposite. You gotta have the residency and the long-term investment before they'll let you physically buy a property and own it. And then it's what's the percentage of ownership. And like I said, each country is different. So you cannot look at one and say, it's the same everywhere. So I'm saying all that to say, you guys, that anything is possible. But like anything and everything, if you want to do it and you want to be successful, you have to start somewhere. You have to start sometime. And there's no time like the present to start, right? So anyway, I'm just chatting, blurbing, and just shooting the breeze in a nice cool place. I'll go out and get some more steps. Might hang out with a friend that's visiting from Tanzania and carry on with my day and my life. If you guys have questions, please leave them in the comments. Please check out my other videos. Please like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate you guys. And I'll see you guys on the next video. All right, y'all know the drill. Peace and hair grease.